Hello there and welcome back to our tutorial series on Intro to Solidworks. We're moving right along here, and this tutorial is going to be our second tutorial on features in Solidworks. If you've been following along with our tutorial series thus far, you've seen that we've created this arrow here, and we did this using several different tools up here in the Sketch tab of the Command Manager. We combined some line work together and some various shapes together, and we trimmed those shapes together using the Trim Entities tool. And then we added this center line using SolidWorks Line tool, its center line tool here, which is our first little indication of reference geometry, something we'll talk a lot about later. And then we used this tool here, Mirror Entities, to mirror half of the sketch over to the other side so that it was perfectly symmetrical, and also so that the sketch was attached to itself using constraints, sketch constraints and relations, meaning that if we dig back into the sketch and edit it, we can edit one side of the sketch and the other will follow along right with it. So we've been doing quite a bit, and we're moving right along, and we're learning some of the things in the sketch tool library, and we're now throwing on some features. We put a boss extrude on there to make this thing 3D. And I want to just keep going along. We added some fillets in our last one, and I guess we can add some more fillets back because it's fun. It's easy to add fillets in SolidWorks. Just go right along here. Throw in some fillets for no big reason at all. Why not? Just to kind of show you guys again how simple it can be. You just click on an edge that you want to add a fillet to. If you want to add a fillet that goes around the entire perimeter of your shape, you just click the face that you want to throw a fillet around, and it'll add a fillet for you. Just hit the green checkbox to confirm that. We did a constant radius fillet there, which is where you add one single size fillet to all the things you click on. There's a couple other different kinds of fillets here that we could talk about later on too. Green checkbox just to confirm. And so now I want to go into some more of the features that are up here in the Features Command Manager toolbox. And so let's get right into it. We'll go to Extruded Cut. Now, Extruded Cut is the exact same as Extruded Boss Base, except Extruded Boss Base makes a shape. It makes a solid form out of your sketch, where Extruded Cut will cut through an extruded form that you've created using a sketch. So let me give you guys an example of that. Let's say we wanted to cut a circle right through the middle of this arrow tool. Okay, so I'll go here to my Sketch tab, and I'll grab my circle tool, and I've just grabbed the tool at random, so SolidWorks is now asking me, could you please tell me what you want to do with this circle? Do you want to draw it on a plane or on a surface? What do you want to do? And so I'm going to go here, I'm going to expand my design tree within my display area, and I'm going to click on the top plane, and that's going to satisfy SolidWorks, and my little sticky note's going to go away there. I'm going to do a right click on the top plane, and I'm going to go normal to so that I'm looking directly at it. And I'm going to look over here at the Property Manager, and I'm going to realize that I have the circle tool activated still. So when I roll over into my display area, I see that I still have the circle tool going because my cursor is not an arrow. It's a little pencil with a circle on it. And I'll just drag out a circle. And I'm happy with that. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to hit the green checkbox. And if I wanted to set a certain dimension to that, I could go up here to the Smart Dimension tool, click on that circle. I could add a dimension, anything I wanted. 2 is a little bit big. I can change that in a couple of different ways. I could change it over here in the Property Manager and just do 1.5 where we started. Or I could also double click right here and add it up there. So there's a lot of different ways to do stuff in SolidWorks. So we've just added this circle and we're good. So we'll just go here and just hit the green checkbox to confirm that we like that dimension. And now we'll switch back over to our Features tab, and we'll grab the Extruded Cut tool. Now notice that our sketch is active right now. This circle sketch that we've created is active, and we can tell that because up here in the right hand corner we've got our Exit Sketch buttons. I've been talking about that since we learned to make sketches. So hopefully we've got that down by now. So we know our sketch is active. So when I select this feature, SolidWorks will know that I want to apply this feature to the active sketch. So I'll just click it right there. And you can see that it activates the property manager for the cut extrude tool that we've chosen, the feature that we've chosen. And also we see this little ghosted arrow thing in the middle here. And that's another indicator. Once you've been using SolidWorks long enough, you recognize that thing as that's the arrow that you grab to pull the depth of the extruded cut. So if I just grab my middle mouse button here and just give it a little twist, I'm going to see that this is my extruded cut. It's going in the wrong direction. Now, no reason to point fingers, that's SolidWorks' fault. It's going in the wrong direction, but hey, it's easy to fix. We'll just go over here to our property manager and we'll click on this button that says reverse direction. And we're going to reverse the direction. And so now we know that we drew this sketch on the top plane. So up here in the property manager, we're seeing SolidWorks telling us, hey, your cut extrude started on the sketch plane, the top plane, and it's going in a blind direction, which means it's going to go in this upward direction as long as we want. We can set the size to whatever we want. But alternatively, there's a couple of different options for that too. If we click on this drop-down menu, we see all of the extrusion depth options. So we can have this extrusion go as high or as low as we want. It's up to us. We could also say it could go through all. That would be in case we had like multiple parts stacked up here in the display manager and we wanted to do one piece of line work that would cut through all. We'd hit through all. Up to next would be to extend the cut extrusion up to the next surface, and we would define that surface when we clicked on that. Up to vertex would be up to the halfway point of a form. Up to surface would be it would go all the way up to whatever surface it's going to hit next, and we would define that surface. Offset from surface would offset the actual start point of the cut extrude. That's a theory we'll play around with in the future. We have up to body. We can select a whole body. If we had another body out here in space, we could do that. And then we have midplane, which would extend the extrusion from the midpoint, from the point when it started one way, and it would extend the other way as well. For now, let's just play around with this a little bit. We'll select up to surface, and the extrusion goes away, and we get a new blue box over here. And if we hover over that, we see that SolidWorks is asking us, could you please select the face or plane that you would like to extend your cut extrude feature up to? Okay, so let's go ahead and just select a face. It'll be this top face here. And we'll go ahead and we'll look at this and we'll confirm that that's what we want. And we'll hit the green checkbox and okay, there we go. We've now cut a little circle in this. So also, SolidWorks has added this feature to our design tree, and we can just as easily go back into our design tree, do a right click, and we can go edit feature, and we can change this direction one parameter to something else if we wanted, like through all. Since we only have one thing, hitting through all, it's going to go through all of it. So I'll just go ahead and select through all, and I'll hit OK, and it's going to cut through all, same diff. I'll go here and edit the feature again. Just go to blind here, and we'll just select blind, and we'll just pull it out to whatever we want and hit OK. It all does the same thing. Okay, so different circumstances call for different parameters to be changed. But a lot of times when you're dealing with a simple shape like this, SolidWorks has many ways of doing the same thing. Okay, so now also we have the sketch that we used to create this cut extrude, and that is also similar to the boss extrude feature that created this arrow. It's nested within the cut extrude feature, so it's still right there. And just the same, we can go back into that sketch and we can edit it. Just do a right click and edit that sketch. As usual, since it's in perspective, it looks a little weird. We want to go normal 2, so we'll do a right click and go normal 2. And we can go ahead and change this to whatever we want. 1.5, why not? Shrink it down a little bit. We'll hit the green checkbox to confirm that we like that dimension. And we'll go ahead and we'll exit the sketch now. And SolidWorks will then reapply the feature that we had applied earlier. And so the feature is changed because the sketch changed. And so that's that. So, pretty fun stuff. Now, we'll just play around a little bit more with some more stuff. We can throw a fillet on there because SolidWorks is Makes adding fillets so easy. I mean, why not? We'll add a constant radius fillet, and it'll be 0.2 inches fine. And we'll go over here, and we'll just, in order to add a fillet to this interior edge, we could just click on that edge itself. We could also just click on this plane, and it would add another fillet to the entire perimeter, now including this circle. We could go here, and we could add one to just this side. We have a lot of different options. Or if we wanted to add a fillet to both sides, we could just select this whole face of the cut extrude and add a fillet on the perimeter of this actual face. So let's just click that, and we'll see it's going to go ahead and do that like a nice machine. So now it's added the fillet to both sides. And so since we did that, we'll just go ahead and add another fillet to this side too. Oh, come on. There we go. Voila. So now this thing's all set. Ready to go. We've got a couple more things to look at. We'll get to them in our next tutorials. But this is a nice sketch that we've created. We've used our Extruded Cut feature here, and we've used the fillet tool quite a bit. So I think we're ready to move on. In the next tutorial, we'll get into the revolved boss base, which is a revolve if you've ever used any other 3D program. You draw the profile of what you want to revolve, and we'll learn about axes and stuff like that. We'll play around with the whole wizard, and we'll probably make some patterns too. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up, and so stay tuned. Thanks a lot for listening.